Okay, the announcement comes that okay. Now the this session is focused on chi-square, and the chi-square is okay. So as I always tell you that what is my agenda. So I will discuss the introduction of chi-square, assumptions of chi-square. I will discuss. So what is the null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis will be discussed, and total variance between group variance. Actually, this is somewhere I. So null and alternate hypothesis I will discuss, and then I will discuss the Pearson chi-square test, Pearson chi-square, and after the Pearson chi-square test, I will discuss the strength of association, strength of association. So this is the agenda of today. Okay. Now the first basic slide is that what is chi-square? And chi-square test, for your knowledge, I'm telling you, it is a non-parametric test. Number one, and it is actually the king of non-parametric tests. So this test is known as king of non-parametric tests, and this test is very popular among all non-parametric tests. And the question comes, why it is non-parametric test? The question comes, why it is non-parametric test? Is chi-square is a non-parametric test because of normal distribution, or why? So yesterday I told you there are three conditions of applying non-parametric test. The condition number one, if data is not normally distributed. The condition number two, when the sample size is very less than 30. And the condition number three is that when you have only nominal and ordinal variables. So then we have to apply non-parametric test. In case of chi-square, normal distribution is not the issue. Sample size is not the issue. The only problem is that chi-square test incorporate only nominal variables. Nominal variables. So chi-square test is applicable. Chi-square test is applicable when you want to see the relationship between two nominal variables. And we know that the distribution is never calculated for nominal variables. You cannot, you should not calculate the distribution measures of normal distribution, normal variables, because they never be the normally distributed. So normal distribution is not the problem in chi-square. Similarly, sample size is not a problem. The problem is that we are using only nominal variables, means categorical variables in the chi-square. And because of this feature, this is a non-parametric test. Okay. Point number two, chi-square is analyzing the relationship between two categories. Chi-square is analyzing the relationship between two categories. So there are only two objectives of applying chi-square. Number one, which is 90% of the cases, when we are interested to find out the relationship between two nominal variables, and second, when we want to check the goodness of it. Only two cases we apply chi-square. The null hypothesis of chi-square is that there is no association between the nominal variable 1 and the nominal variable 2, right? And in other cases, we examine the difference between observed and the expected frequencies. The comparison between observed and expected frequencies is the logic behind the chi-square. Whether you are interested in finding out the relationship or whether you are analyzing the goodness of it. In both the cases, we compare actual values with the expected values. And if there is a mismatch between the expected value and the actual values, if there is a mismatch between expected value and the actual value, it means some association will be there. So this is the chi-square test, right? Okay. Before moving to the assumptions, I'm giving you some examples. Like for example, now uh, I was asking to a student that what course you are doing. So the student said, I am doing computer science course. So I am doing computer science BTech. Okay. Now I make a guess that in the class, how many female students should be there and how many male students should be there. My first question is, how many male students should be there in the class and how many female students should be there in the class? And anybody can tell me the answer 50-50 because God make both categories equal in all terms. So there should be the 50-50 ratio in the class. Okay, so I make a guess that I told her, I hope that in your class there should be 50 student male student, 50 female student. He says no. In my class there are 65% girls student and 35% boys student. So can I say there is a association between the gender and the computer science BTech? The answer is yes. It means girls are more inclined towards computer science course as compared to boys. Similarly, I'm giving you another example. I asked the same student of a BTech who is taking the mechanical as a BTech, mechanical BTech. I asked the student how many male students are there in your class and how many male female students are there in the class. And again, I am assuming that there are 50% male and 50% female. This is expected. This is expected. But the student told me that in the class of 60, 55 are male and only there are 5 girls in the class. So those who, if you have done BTech in mechanical, you know the case. The girls are very less, right? So what is the meaning of this? The meaning is that there is a significant association between the mechanical BTech and the gender, right? So basically, how we arrive at this conclusion, because there's a difference between the expected and there's a difference between the actual. There's a difference between actual and expected. So this is called mismatch. I'm expecting 50-50 and actually the condition is 80-20 or 90-10. There's a mismatch. Okay. One question more. I ask you that toss a coin and toss this coin 10 times. And I will ask you that how many head you are expected to get in test in 10 tosses. So you are tossing the coin 10 times. Out of 10 outcome, how many heads should be there? And anybody, even if he is a student of nursery, he can tell me that out of 10, a 5 should be head. It is a common sense. But suppose actual head are 9 out of 10. So what conclusion you can draw? I'm telling you, even a nursery class student can tell me this coin is wrong. Why? Because out of 10 times, 9 times our head is coming, right? So it means coin is some problem with the coin, right? Yeah, this coin is a biased coin. So basically, when we compare the actual with the expected and expected is very far from the actual, it means some association is there, right? So this is the logic of chi-square. So chi-square test compare the actual and expected, and if actual and expected are very different, then it means some problem is there, right? So let me now go to the next slide. Okay, so I'm asking you some questions so you can answer me. Is there any association between the gender and the shopping behavior? Is there any association between the MBA HR and the gender? Is there any association between the MBA and MBA marketing and the gender? Is there any association between the education level of the woman and the level of domestic violence? Is there any association between the medicine and the improvement? So these are the different questions that we ask. Yeah. So whenever we ask these type of questions, or even I can ask you, is there any relationship between the job of a female and the type of car she is having? Is there any association between the the income and the type of phone you are having? So you can tell yes there are significant association. Is there any association between the income level and the type of hotel you selected for a stay? Yes. If you have high income, you select 5-star hotel to stay. If you have less income, then you find out the 3-star or less than that. So yes, there is an association. Now all the association in this world is measured by chi-square. And I'm telling you one more thing. Association is a inferior quality word as compared to relationship. Association is a inferior word. Relationship is a superior word. Association is inferior because we are estimating the relationship between low quality variable. I am telling you, nominal variables is considered to be low level variable. So that's why association means low level relationship or inferior quality of relationship, right? And Pearson correlation is superior relationship. So chi-square test is somehow it is considered to be the inferior test as compared to correlation. Okay, so I hope some background and information and introduction you know about chi-square, and let's move to the next. Now, the assumption of chi-square. There are only two assumptions. There are only two assumptions. Number one, both variables should be nominal in nature. Both variables should be nominal in nature. Both the variables should be nominal in nature and must have at least two different categories. Like for example, gender is having two, male and female. Income group is having three category: high, low, and moderate. And then when we make a okay, so this assumption number second, I will tell you something later on because now it is difficult to understand. So I will explain. Okay, now actually the whole chi-square depends upon the comparison between expected and actual. And if they are same, no association. And if there is a difference between expected and actual, then significant difference. Sometimes you don't know how to calculate the expected. The formula of expected is row total into column total into n, right? Like this. So we apply this formula O minus E square upon E1. Okay. So let me start one example so that I can relate with what I'm saying. So I am going to apply the chi-square. Okay, so let's take a very simple example. In this case, in the first example, I have two variables. Like the first variable is income or level of the person. The income is divided into three categories: less than 5 lakh, 5 to 10 lakh, and more than 10 lakh. So this is the three level of income. Then we are having three level of phone: budget phone, which comes in the range of less than 10 lakh, 10,000, $100, less than $100. Then mid segment from 10,000 to 25,000 up to $300. And flagship phone means more than $300, yani more than 25,000. Like Apple comes in a flagship phone. And budget phone like ye Vivo, Oppo, Nokia, all these are budget phones. And mid segment phone you can count 3T plus and T plus and something like that. Note. I don't have any mid segment phone, so I do not recall. I cannot recall the names. Okay. Now my question is there any association between income level and the phone type? So how to find out the chi-square? So I'm going to the analyze, and this is the command. Just see carefully. I'm going to analyze, descriptive and cross tab. Income, go to the row, and phone I'm going to the column. So sending income to row, phone type into column. Now I'm going to the statistics, and I'm clicking on the chi-square. Continue. And I go to the cell and click on the expected. This is actual frequency and this is expected frequency. Okay. Now I calculated one more thing. I want to click on phi and Kramer V. So I am clicking on the phi and Kramer V. Continue. Okay. So now I will get the result of chi-square and I will explain you what the meaning of each and everything. This table, the first table, only three table comes in chi-square. 1, 2, 3. If you understand all the three tables, your chi-square is over. So let me explain the table number 1. This table is known as cross tabulation table or contingency table. Contingency table. So this table is known as contingency table or cross tabulation. And in this table, the first value is actual frequency. Like there are 30 people, there are 30 respondents who are having income less than 5 lakh. Out of 30, 15 are having budget phone, 10 are having mid-segment phone, and 5 are having flexi phone. There are 40 people in the category of 5 to 10 lakh. Out of 40, 10 are having budget, 20 are having mid-segment, and 10 are having flagship. Actually, in more than 10 lakh, we are having 30 respondent, 5 budget, 6 mid-segment, 19 flagship. Okay, and we also have the expected value. So this expected value is calculated by the formula row total into column total upon n. If you see this formula, I can calculate the expected. Let, for example, I'm showing you the one example. Okay. Suppose this value is 15 and this is actual value, and I want to calculate the predicted value or expected value of this number. So I will find out the row total the row total, the column total is 30, the row total is 30, and the grand total is 30. So the expected value is 30 multiplied by 30 upon 100. So 100, you cancel 3 3s are 9. So you can see that expected value is 9. So all the expected values are calculated using this formula. Let me show you one more example. Suppose how this 13.6 comes. So I am showing you this for this column. So the row total is 34, column total is 40, and grand total is 100. So 34 is the column total multiplied by 40, which is the row total, and grand total is 100. So if you solve it, this is 4 for just 16, 4 3 are 12, 30 upon 10, so 13.6. So you can see that the answer is 13.6. So we apply the formula row total into column total, row total into column total divided by the grand total. So by this formula, we can calculate the expected value, and then we compare actual value minus expected value and calculate the chi-square. So chi-square value comes lower side. So here the chi-square value is 21.678, and the probability value of chi-square is 0.00. So what is the thumb rule in this case? So now the question is that what is the thumb rule in this case? Okay. So now I'm going to the thumb rule, and thumb rule is very easy. Again, same thing. We don't see the chi-square value. Thumb rule. If the p-value of chi-square is less than 0.05, it means significant association exists. Significant association exists. So this is the thumb rule of chi-square test. Now we are having the p-value of Pearson chi-square value. This value is less than this chi-square. This is the this x-square is known as chi-square. So p-value of chi-square is less than 0.05. You can see it is less than 0.05. It means significant association exists. So we don't have any standard value of chi-square. We only compare the p-value. Okay. So now I hope you understand that if p-value is less than 0.05, it means significant association exists. And one thing which I want to explain you that in this contingency table, let me do one more time. Now this time I will not draw the expected value, only actual value. So this table is known as contingency table, and this table is showing you that there are 100 respondents in the data set. 30 of them are having income less than 5 lakh. 40 have the income less than between 5 to 10 lakh, and 30 have the income more than 10 lakhs. And the income is 100. Total people are 100. Okay. Now the question is that whether they are related or not. So one assumption we have to check in chi-square that all these cells must be more than 5. The value in all these cells must be more than 5. And the minimum requirement is that 80% of these numbers are more than 5. 80% of these numbers are more than 5. So which numbers? So from here to this, all these numbers, 80% of these numbers are more than 5. This is the assumption number 2. So let me explain now the assumption number 2, so which I actually left because I had not explained the contingency table. In the 2 by 2 contingency table, the expected frequency in each case should be greater than 5. In larger contingency table, the rule is that all expected counts should be greater than 1 and no more than 20% of the expected count should be less than 5. Actually, in other words, 80% of the cell should have the count more than 5. So this is the actual value. 80% of the expected cells count more than 5, right? So this is known as second assumption of chi-square. Okay, so Pearson chi-square I already explained. Yeah. So one few more things. In chi-square, the calculated value of chi-square is compared with the table value, and the software gives you the probability value. Software gives the probability value, and if the calculated value of chi-square is more than critical value or p-value less than 5%, we can reject the null hypothesis, right? And the degree of freedom of chi-square is c minus 1 into r minus 1, where c is equal to column, number of columns, and r is equal to number of rows. And after analyzing the chi-square, Pearson chi-square, we are interested in one more thing, that is known as strength of the association. So, for example, I'm giving you one example. You see two colleagues talking to each other, or two persons talking to each other. There are three possibilities. Number one, they are just colleagues. Number two, they are friends. And number three, that they are very close friends, right? So now the question is that how can we analyze that? What is the strength of the association? So answer is that the strength of the association is measured by Cramer V. The Cramer V formula is written here. The Cramer V can be calculated by dividing chi-square upon n is the observations, and minimum of c minus 1 and r minus 1. So don't uh, remember the formula, it is just for your application use. The cutoff or the thumb rule of Cramer V is that if Cramer V is more than 0.5, the association is very strong. If Cramer V is less than 0.5, it means there is a moderate association between the two nominal variables. So this rule we follow in chi-square. And whenever you apply chi-square, you have to report Cramer V compulsorily. So now I am showing you the Cramer V of the SPSS. So the third table gives you the value of Cramer V. If Cramer V here in this case is 0.329, it is moderately strong. So we can say there exists moderately strong association between income and the phone, right? And when we identify two things, number one, significant association, moderately strong association. The last point is that where is the association? Association, where is the association? So now from where is the association, we can find out the contingency table again. So in contingency table, I'm calculating again, because in contingency table, we compare expected with the actual. So in cell, I click on expected. Okay. Okay. Now let's compare for flagship phone. Now I'm telling you, I have to find out a cell where actual is more than expected. I am looking for a cell where actual is more than expected. I repeat it one more time. Where actual is more than expected. In first, actual is less than expected. In second, actual is less than expected. In third, it is more than expected. So now my answer lies in the third. Actual is 19, expected is only 10. So I can say the income, the respondent who are having income more than 10 lakhs are used to have flexiphone. The customers who where the income is more than 10 lakhs, they are having flexiphone. Conclusion, simple. Let's take the conclusion of budget phone. Again, I want to check the cell. I want to find out the cell where actual is more than expected. In first case, I found that actual is more than expected. So my conclusion is very simple. Respondent where income is less than 5 lakh are having budget phone more than expected. In mid segment phone, I found in case of 5 to 10 lakh, and I can conclude the respondent where the income is between 5 to 10 lakh are more found to have more mid segment phone. So in this way, we can conclude the chi-square test. And I'm telling you this, the concept which I'm teaching you is not available in any book. This comes only after a lot of experience. So let's do some more example on chi-square. Okay. Now, this is the experimentation case. The company want to do experiment, and company divide the employees into three categories. Suppose the company, the HR manager or senior managers, they divide the employees into three categories, and they are doing three experiments. Experiment number 1, 2, and 3, and then they examine the performance, where performance is best, where performance is average, and where the performance is poor. Right. So similarly, we want to know that is there any association between the performance and the experiment, right? So we want to see that is there any association. Why I'm using the word association? Because both the variables are nominal in nature. If both the variables are scale variable, then I cannot use the word association. I must use the word relationship. So selection of the word is very, very important in statistics. You cannot use association for correlation, and you cannot use correlation for association. Okay, so now the right word here is association, and I'm interested in association between the performance and the experiment. So now I'm giving all the command at the same time. Analyze, descriptive, and cross tab. Experiment row, performance column. Statistics, chi-square, and phi, grammar. Cells expected. Continue. And nothing else. Click OK. First, the step number 1. Is there any association? Chi-square say yes, because p value is less than 0.05. So the conclusion is that yes, there is association. Okay. The second question is that what is the strength of the association? Now my Kramer value say that the strength is moderately strong, because Kramer value is less than 0.5, so it is moderately strong. Okay, where is the association? Then this is the best performance. I am looking for a cell where actual is more than expected. So I found in the experiment 1, the actual is more than expected. In other all, it is less. So I will not see any other cell. I will see only those cell where actually is more than expected. So experiment one, I found that the expected is 11 and actually is 20. So my conclusion is that experiment one will provide best performance, right? The simple conclusion is that experiment one is providing you the best performance. Similarly, if I check for the poor performance, uh, again high, where the actual is more than expected. So 15 is more than expected. So my conclusion is very simple. Experiment 3 will lead to poor performance, because in case of experiment 3, the poor performance is more than expected. Conclusion is very clear. So now you understand how easy it is to understand the chi-square test. So let's do one more example. Okay. So in this example, I have the two categories. So in this case, chi-square is not applicable because one variable is a scale variable. Chi-square is applicable only when the variable is nominal. Okay, this is treatment and this is improvement. Uh, in this case, the employees of a company are divided into two groups. The first group is sending to attend the health camps, and the second group is sent to listen the awareness lecture only. Okay, and then we ask them, are you improved or not? Do you feel any improvement in the health? Yes or no? So improvement have two categories and treatment is having two categories. So this is just the simple example of chi-square test. Same example, same command, treatment row, improvement column, cells expected, and statistics chi-square Kramer week, continue and okay. Simple. Now first, is the association exist? Yes, exist, because p value is less than 0.05. So when you apply the chi-square, first question is that is the association exist? Can we reject the null hypothesis? If p value is less than 0.05, it means yes. If yes, then what is the strength? The Kramer V is 3.5. It means moderately strong. If it is more than 0.5, then very strong. And where is the association? Then we go to the yes, improvement. Where actual is more than expected, the first case. In first case, the actual is more than expected, so I can say that health camp leads to better improvement. Simple conclusion. The health camp will lead to better improvement. Answer, and that's it. So this is the simple example of chi-square, and I hope you understand the meaning of chi-square. And after this session, I'm confident that you understand and apply chi-square confidently.